Mega Man 11 is the latest classic Mega Man game, and the latest Mega Man game in general. Yeah, I have a very hard time counting X Dive. Anyway, prior to this video, this was one of my favorite Mega Man games. Does that opinion still hold up on this playthrough? Do I still think it's a great game, or are there other games that are better? Well, let's find out. But first, this is the 14th video in my classic Mega Man retrospective. You don't need to watch all the prior videos, but I recommend you watch one or two, particularly some of the more recent ones. With that out of the way, let's begin. Our story begins with a flashback that takes place about a few decades prior to the main series. This flashback details the moment Light became enemies with Wily. Wily proposed the double gear system to the committee at the Robot Institute of Technology, a system that enables robots to have superhuman strength and move superhuman speed. The committee decided to instead fund Light's research into robots with independent thought, and Wily then broke all ties with Light and the committee. Fast forward a few decades, and we see Light and his robots completing checkups on some robots, when Wily shows up to steal these robots, and he uses the double gear system to do so. Light then explains the system to Rock, Roll, and Otto, and Rock is then upgraded with the double gear system, and he heads off to defeat the 8 Robot Masters and Wily. 11 also has voice acting, just like 8 and Powered Up. Unlike those games, however, I much prefer these voices compared to those in previous games. Everyone just sounds like their characters, there isn't much to it.
Doctor, Roll, Otto, I'll be back soon!
The very invention you so coldly crushed when we were students together! Or has your memory failed you?
Our university days. A device. It can't be!
Oh, brother, there's no end to them! Doc, how about giving your favorite assistant a break?
I don't need a break, Otto. You know, for a robot, you sure do complain a lot. Now let's crank it up a gear.
But for Rock, his voice sounds kinda familiar, but I can't put my finger on it. Oh yeah, he played the devil. As for Roll, oh yeah, that hot plane. Graphically, this game looks good. Pretty sure I've said this before, but I've never been good at explaining what exactly I like about a game's graphics. I just can tell you whether or not I think it's nice. To try, though, well, textures are high-res, models are high-poly, nothing looks off or weird. I guess the graphics aren't extraordinary or anything, but they certainly aren't doing anything wrong. However, I can tell you how Rock has gotten an upgrade in this game. Compare his X Dive art to his 11 art, and you can see he's got new plates, mainly on his feet and near his arms. It's a very tiny change, but I do like it. Roll has also gotten a design change, and I remember saying that her 8 design was her best in my Powered Up video. I entirely forgot she got a new design in this game, and I'd like to amend that statement to her 8 design is her second best. Her best one is the 11 design. As for the soundtrack, I really like it. It's really heavy on the synth, and I do like that. And it makes sense, I'm playing as a robot. Some of my favorites include I've also got 3 things to mention about the soundtrack. First, this game has an unused vocal theme that's available in the MM11 soundtrack. The soundtrack has no business being $18, please go listen to it on YouTube or Spotify. Regardless, this vocal theme is pretty good. Hey, Editing Zemshia here. One interesting thing I noticed is that the woman who sings the vocal theme, Ayaka Fukuhara, she also plays Rock in 11 and X Dive as well. So that's neat. Second, there's a DLC called the Wily Numbers, which is free and contains remixed versions of the 8 Robot Master songs, and they call them instrumentals. These instrumentals are all really good, and it's free, so you've got no reason not to get it. And thirdly, there are rearranged versions of each Robot Master song, also available in the OST. So there are 3 versions of each Robot Master theme, and it's great. So now, to get to the gameplay, I'm happy to say Rock has returned to his 7/8 moveset. The charge shot and slide are back, and it's great. The slider and auto fire have also been mapped to buttons, so that's great. Rush coil and rush jet have also been mapped to buttons. I usually set them to the shoulder buttons. Weapon switching has also never been better, as you can use the right analog stick to swap between weapons instantaneously, and you click the stick down to return to the Mega Buster. Most importantly, however, the double gear system is not just a MacGuffin in the story, it's usable in gameplay. By hitting the right trigger, you can use the speed gear, which slows down time. By hitting the left trigger, you can use the power gear, which makes your shots fire faster and your charge shot becomes bigger. Be warned, there's a limit to all this. There's a red bar called the gear gauge above Rock that fills up the more you use the double gear system, and when it's full, Rock overheats and cannot use either gear until the gauge is empty. You've also got an ace in the hole technique, the true double gear. When you hit low health, hit both triggers at once and you can use both gears at the same time. Be careful though, you can't turn off this double gear at will, unlike the other two gears, and when the gauge is full, it will take longer to empty the gauge. So, all in all, I like the new additions and the double gear mechanic, it's sick. The shop is also here, and there are many more items than in 9 or 10. Of course, the simple stuff is still here, 1-ups, E, W, and M tanks, things like that. We've also got some new stuff, like the Energy Balancer Neo, which recharges all weapons with picking up a capsule, the Outer Charge chip, and the Buster Plus chip, bigger shots, the Power Shield, less knockback, and a lot more. To talk about the ones I really care about, there's the Speed Gear Booster, which allows Mega Man to move at normal speeds when using the speed gear. Normally, Rock is a little bit slower than normal when using speed gear, so this negates that. There's also the Bolt Catcher, which makes this bolt appear more often. There's a certain game I know that really needs this item. The Cooling System, which makes the gear gauge recharge faster. The Cooling System Infinite, which allows you to use the double gear system without using the gear gauge. And the Awakener chip, which allows you to use special weapons without expending ammo. Tons of great stuff, I really love it. There are also special requirements to unlock some parts, so you won't get these items unless the game believes you need them. For example, the Energy Catcher makes health ups more common, won't appear until you get 10 game overs, or the Bolt Catcher, which will only appear on Saturdays. Some items are also incompatible with each other, and you gotta pick only one to use at a time, like the Auto Charge chip and the Buster Plus chip. Just like 9 and 10, this game also has difficulty levels: Newcomer, Casual, Normal, and Superhero. I do not recommend playing on Newcomer. From what I remember, you have infinite lives, Beat will always pick you up from bottomless pits, you deal a lot more damage than normal, and the game just becomes far too easy. I decided to do this playthrough on normal mode, and this was my first playthrough on normal. Overall, I thought it was good. I definitely had to use some E-tanks and the occasional W-tank, especially in the Gear Fortress stages, but overall, it wasn't easy at all, but it wasn't too hard. As for the stages, I really like all of them. Blockman, of course, has tons of blocks all around. He's also got some block formations that have destructible blocks you gotta get through. Acid Man has water that is turned into acid via the Pipetto. These enemies throw out chemicals and you've got to stop them before the water you're standing in turns to acid. There are also underwater sections that have fans pushing you around. There are tons of spikes all around, and it reminds me a lot of X8 Sigma Palace. Tons of spikes, but you feel really good when you get through it all. Impact Man is in a construction area, and they're moving platforms with oncoming piledriver robots coming to kill you. Fun fact, they all have names. The black one is Kyuichiro, the yellow one is Kyujiro, and the orange one is Kyuisaburo. Together, they're the Impact Brothers. Bounce Man has a bunch of bouncy balls for you to maneuver with, as well as a massive trampoline. It's simple but really fun, no wonder the kids love him so much. Fuse Man has a bunch of electricity currents you've got to avoid, and it always feels good when you skip the section with speed gear. Tundra Man is the ice level, but the ice physics can be mitigated with the spike boots, which increases Rock's traction. There are some sections where wind is pushing you either forwards or backwards, and you've got to use the wind to your advantage and make otherwise unthinkable jumps. Fun fact, Tundra Man was created by Dr. Cossack, who we haven't seen since Mega Man 5. Torchman takes place in a campsite, and there are sections where fire is chasing you from behind and you've got to run away. It always amazes me how the fire catches up so quickly after using speed gear. There are also sections that have no light besides the lampers. Get rid of the lampers and you've no light besides your Mega Buster shots. Keep the lamper around and dodge it, you've got light. Reminds me of the main cues in X8's Pitch Black. And Blastman has tons of explosives set off by tripwires that you have to outrun. Overall, these stages are very fun to get through and don't have anything especially infuriating. The bosses are pretty good. They were actually difficult for me, but it wasn't anything infuriating. It was also exceptionally fun to use Power Gear in tandem with the boss's weakness. A fun fact about each boss is that when you select them, you'll see their serial number appear alongside their name. The weapons are also good. Block Dropper is easily the best. It's like Black Hole Bomb, but a little less maneuverable. The upside is that it has a much bigger area of effect. Don't bother using it without Power Gear though, as otherwise the blocks are small and very far apart. With Power Gear though, it's insanely powerful. Acid Barrier is a pretty good shield weapon, and you can also fire acid shots. Pile Driver doesn't have many combat uses, but in platforming it's wicked. It's basically a mid-air dash. Bounce Ball is good when you've got an enemy that can only be hit from a certain angle. Scramble Thunder travels along the floor and wall, and is good when you've got an enemy that's so far even Block Dropper can't reach. Thunderstorm is basically a screen nuke that only damages 95% of the screen, at least with Power Gear enabled. I didn't get much out of Blazing Torch. It shoots a fireball out that then spits out 3 smaller fireballs. Chain Blast is also a good one. You throw out 4 bombs that link together and destroy something. You also get a massive bomb that takes up half the screen when using Power Gear. However, be warned you when using Power Gear in tandem with a special weapon. Ammo consumption is increased a little, so you run out of ammo quicker. Hey, editing Zemche here again. I just wanted to mention how I forgot to mention in the script how just cool the weapon select screen looks. I know it's a simple and dumb thing, but you know, the weapon energy filling, the icon showing up, seeing the headgear and arm gear just, I guess, detailed and gibberish, all the stuff in the background. I know it probably seems kind of stupid and it's a lot of small things, but it does look cool in my opinion. After all that, it's time for the cancel stages. Wily announces that he's waiting for us at the Gear Fortress, and Rock sets off. But, his voice is familiar.
Come to my Gear Fortress. I'll be waiting for you.
Oh yeah, the Crocodile Investigator. Anyway, for the cancel stages, I like them. The first stage has a bunch of rotating gears that Rock has to jump across. The yellow ones are just fine, but the copper ones will fall down after Rock touches them. The vanish blocks also make their only appearance here. The boss here is a Yellow Devil Mark III. I don't really care for this boss. I never liked him before, I don't like him now. Stage 2 has a cool bit where the walls come in to chase you and crush you in. The boss is the Mauverine, and there isn't much to him, just dodge his shots and don't get hit by the spikes around him. Although his name and design remind me a lot of Ebony Maw. Stage 3 doesn't have much to it, and then the boss rush. You know, after nearly 40 Mega Man games, you'd think they learned that no one likes the boss rushes and just get rid of them. And by the way, if you do like the boss rushes, please leave a comment telling me why. I'm not trying to attack you or shine a spotlight on you. I'm just curious because I've only ever met one person who likes the boss rushes, and I want to know why. I just think it's a lazy reuse of assets that extends the game by only 10 minutes. And then there's stage 4. It's a very short one and it ends with a final fight against Wily. Wily Machine 11 starts by shooting missiles at Rock that he can jump on to hit the machine's weak point. There are also times when the missiles will hit Mega Man from the sky and he's gotta dodge that. And then, after reaching half health, Wily will extend the gears at the bottom, using them to activate the conveyor belt. There'll also be a projectile that flies in circles you've got to avoid. And then, here's a twist. There isn't a fight against a Wily capsule. Instead, we have Wily Machine version 2. In this form, both the speed gear and power gear are used. It's easy to force it into its desperation move when Wily uses speed gear to speed around the room and ram into Mega Man. He stays in this strategy, so you've got to defeat him like this. In the end, Wily begs for mercy as he's done time and again. Light then shows up and says how Mega Man has the double gear, but he also has the intelligence to use it, a combination of both of their ideas. I think Light says it better than I do.
Open your eyes, Wily. Look at Mega Man and tell me what you see.
All I see is the instrument of my downfall.
Mega Man wields tremendous power, but he has the intelligence to use it wisely. He's your vision and mine combined. If our ideas, our gears, could mesh together, Mega Man would be the result. We achieved this together. It's not too late, Albert. Atone for your crimes and join me again.
Silence!
Of course, Wily doesn't listen and goes off to fight another day. Otto shows up and the three leave the fortress. The credits roll, but we've got a post-credit scene to look at. The reason Otto and Light were at the Gear Fortress wasn't just to speak to Wily, it was to recover and rescue the Rollermasters. I'm not sure how they did this given the fact that all 8 Robot Masters exploded twice, but regardless, they've been saved. And that ends Mega Man 11. It was a great game, a great soundtrack, good looking graphics, fantastic mechanics and stages, fun bosses, and a nice story. If there was any final Mega Man game to get, I'm glad it was this one. So next up should be the X games. And it might be. I'm not entirely sure I want to immediately go back to more Mega Man. Don't worry, those videos will be made. I love those games, I'm just not sure whether I immediately want to go back to Mega Man or talk about another series I like. You'll just have to stick around and find out. But before a new video comes out, I think I deserved a bit of a break. I've been making videos every week for 4 months now, so don't expect a new video next week, I'm sorry to say. Regardless, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you later.